Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to our new art channel, Meritage Art and Light. Today's painting is a little different, but so inspiring to me. I painted a sea turtle underwater in Hawaii. Here's my painting. This little turtle is surrounded by that peaceful blue world that feels almost sacred. And the more I learned about sea turtles, the more I realized that these animals are not only graceful, they are deeply fascinating. In Hawaii, the green turtle, known as honu, is the sea turtle that's most commonly seen on reefs and beaches. These turtles are reptiles, which means even though they live in the ocean, they still surface to breathe. What I find so interesting is that sea turtles live such quiet-looking lives, but their behavior is anything but simple. For a long time, turtles were often thought of as fairly passive and even non-social animals. But researchers now understand much more about their behaviors. Green turtles are generally solitary, especially outside of feeding or breeding situations. And many migrate hundreds to thousands of miles between feeding grounds and nesting beaches. Adult females are extraordinary navigators and often return to the general area where they hatched to lay their eggs. Imagine crossing vast stretches of ocean and then somehow finding your way back home. That's not random. It's instinct. That is biological memory. That is survival written into the body. Another thing I found fascinating is that turtles are not as silent as many people believe. Research shows sea turtles can hear underwater sounds, especially lower frequency sounds. And newer studies suggest that green turtles also produce underwater sounds themselves. In other words, the sea is not silent to them, and they may be communicating more than we once understood. And yes, then there's personality. Yep, even turtles may have distinct personality differences. Imagine that. Researchers on turtles including green sea turtles, have found consistent differences in traits along a shy-bold spectrum. Some individuals behave more cautiously, while others are more exploratory and bold, which means even in the animal world, temperament matters. Now, as a behaviorist, you already know that got my attention. Because when we think about personality, we often think only of humans, right? But the natural world keeps reminding us that the behavior is nuanced, adaptive, and deeply individual. Female sea turtles come ashore to nest, and researcher notes that they usually return to a beach in the general area where they hatched. Even more fascinating, the temperature of the nest during incubation helps determine the sex of the hatchlings. Yes, nature, once again, is doing something both delicate and profound. And when it comes to rest and survival, turtles know exactly what they need. In Hawaii, basking is a common behavior for green turtles. That means they may come out of the water and rest, regulating themselves in ways that serves their bodies. Now, to me, there is something quietly beautiful in that. Even these ancient creatures know when to pause. That is one reason I wanted to paint this turtle underwater. When I look at the sea turtle gliding through the ocean, I do not see an animal. I see calm strength. I see instinct. I see patience. I see a creature that survives not by rushing, but by moving with purpose. And honestly, there's a lesson in that for us. Not everything powerful is loud. Not everything wise moves fast. And not everything meaningful has to fight for attention. Some things, like the honu, carry their wisdom quietly. My friends, if you ever encounter a sea turtle in the wild, it's recommended that you give it space and observing respectfully from a distance. In Hawaii, that guidance is at least 10 feet away. These animals are so beautiful, but they are also protected and they deserve peace in their natural habitat. I hope you enjoyed this little detour on the turtles before we begin my series on the penguin. This painting reminded me that the ocean is full of mystery, intelligence, and grace. And sometimes one quiet creature can say so much without saying a word. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next video where we begin our official penguin series. I'm so excited.